Greetings, everybody. Welcome to the Sunday Culture Review. Today is super easy, barely an inconvenience. I just wanted to say, let's get into the holidays. We're going to take a lighter approach to some of the stories that happened over the course of the week and weekend. And of course, we have a great panel to do that with you today. We have, of course, as usual, or most of the time, we have AFK Bard, one of the original panel members here. What's going on, AFK?
Hey, I'm happy to be here again. I always like hanging out with you guys, and I'm looking forward to taking it easy today. So
that's right. We are going to take it easy. We're going to laugh at some of these stories. That's exactly right. Thanks for being here. I know that you're doing it on your phone, so hopefully you can hang out with us the entire time. Next to AFK, of course, is the Story Man Jack, who is very Christmas-ed up.
Yeah, we've been doing holiday parties this weekend, so I just thought I'd just
look at this outfit, look at this hat and this shirt. Silent Night, Jedi Knight. And the hat.
I love it.
All right. We also have the regular one of the other originals here on the panel, my friend Wes Moody of the Wes Moody Webcast. What's going on, Wes?
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me on, Culture, and it's good being here with these amazing folks on the panel. And I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and just say that this is a time of year for friendship, fellowship, and family. And in the words of Bill and Ted, be excellent to each other.
That's right. That's right. Listen to that. And you know what? He's 100% right. And of course, next to him, another panel member from the way back days. We got Shellback, TJC. What's up, Shell?
Standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona, taking it easy.
All right. That's a great Eagles song. And you know what? That was actually inspired by a visit through Winslow. So they are telling you the truth when they're singing that song. But thanks for being here, Shellback. Appreciate you very much. And of course, last but not least, the man of major talent doing a little touch up here and some shading, it looks like, on just a really cool image here. What's going on, Makini?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are. My name is Makini90, Artist Illustrator. Welcome you to the Sunday Culture Review for December 5th, 2021. And guys, it is December already. It's like we're at the end of the year now. Man, it feels like the year kind of went by a little fast though. But anyway, I'm here. We're gonna have some fun today. I know it's been a crazy week last week, but we're gonna start off on the right foot. We're gonna have some fun today, not only on here, but on my main show, Marketing Live, where I have a special guest of Master of the TDS and Writing Raven. So it's gonna be a fun Sunday all around, guys. And wherever you guys decide to go on, hope you guys have some fun today. Let's focus.
Awesome. Absolutely. Yeah. And do check out Makini stream right after this one. It's always fantastic. Great creators, great conversation. If I had talent, I would try to appear, but I have none. So yeah, I just talk about stuff. Let's start with the chat though. We've got Sander Hammerslag saying happy Sinterklaas, which is a different version of Santa Claus. We have Storyman himself here, of course, and Judicon. What's going on, Judicon? Judicon hanging out with us.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't hold it in anymore.
There you go.
Every time I see a Makini drawing.
I know, Makini is, look at that. It's beautiful. Trace is just popping in to say hello, but he's hanging out with Lorena on the live, which I can't blame him, but he'll be back. Lord Thoth is here. Check him out. That's the Christmas Thoth. Get it? Thought it was funny. Cody Guy is here. Good to see you, Cody. And of course, Mohammed Saeed is here. Good to see you, my friend. Grumpy old Ninja Kintaro. Dude, I am glad to see you. Thanks for swinging in. Appreciate you very
Grumpy.
much. We got the Gilk Man. What's going on, Thomas? Man, I'm sending love and prayers to you every day, my friend, as is Keely Chow saying rest in peace, JJ. Absolutely. Six is here. Hey, Six. Hope you're doing well. Six is doing cartwheels. Look at that. It's amazing. Always look on the light side of life. It's a short story. It says hail. Well, hail to you. It's a short story. The Hunch the Dirty Roofer is here saying, have you been able to check out? No, but it is. I will get that done today. Life has been at me lately. Let's just put it that way. I've been very, very busy. But no, that is one thing I definitely have to check out. I promise you I will get to that today. So Makini saying happy Sunday, everybody. Wes sends his normal super sticker. It's a thumbs up. It's a thumbs up. Thanks, Wes. Appreciate that. Your Muslim uncle is here. What's up? Man, I'm just gonna say peace be to you. I'm gonna practice more before I try to do that.
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna do it. I don't want
to.
Thank you. Yeah. I collect spores, molds, and fungus. Wow, look at everyone. Yes, Canadian Spider-Man. Look at everyone. Oh, you guys are crazy. You guys are awesome. I love it. You guys play around with your names like that. Court's here. What's up, Court? Good to see you. Courtney's Fellowship of Oddballs updated your avatar. Wow, check it out.
Looks good.
Very nice. Yeah. Very nice.
Good to see you. Egon fan in the chat. Absolutely. Unemployment rate is 100% among Cuomo brothers. Absolutely. Kabuto Studios. Let me tell you, Limited Incorporated LLC. Wow, that's a lot of paperwork. That's actually going to be one of the stories we cover today. So good on you. Rob Altus is here. Says, "Hey LCC panel, good to see you, Rob." Gaff is here. Remember, according to Seth, we will always be white, and according to me, he will always be a well. Yes, he might
to
be.
The E to the D to the O.
You almost got there. You almost got there.
Almost. I saved him there.
I choked on it.
I quote tweeted old Seth from a. He put out a little tweet advertising his thing, and
the thing.
I was like, it's a cinematic spectacular, so amazing that you can't even like, share, or comment on the trailer. No, I'm like, congrats, you douche canoe.
Yeah, he's not exactly. Look, he smokes a lot of weed.
He's not the brightest light bulb. Let's put it that way.
Well, Disney just hired him to do Darkwing Duck.
Oh no! Wah 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 wah. All right. Yeah, we've got, as I said, TZ Canadians here. We've got Mr. Dragon here. Soul Assassins rolling through here. We've got the ever lovely, Tina Bojan here. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. There we go. I did it. Trinoculus P is hanging out with us. Let's see who else. Lots of people rolled through here. I'm still choking on that word from earlier. Becky's here. Hi, Becky. It's weird she's here and not watching football. Why aren't you watching football?
I know, right?
I know. Islington Girls here after Sausage Party. This movie doesn't surprise me. Yeah. Some people thought that was funny. I did not. I thought Sausage Party was terrible. But let's start with the one piece of super sobering news, something that I wasn't prepared for this morning. We lost a politician, a statesman. Statesman and politician don't always go together. Sometimes they do. Say what you will about his politics, but this man was every bit involved in your country and a lot of decision making over the course of its history. He passed away at 98.
What did they say he was in the government for 79 years?
Yeah, he was the vice presidential nominee in 1976, and 20 years later he was a presidential nominee.
And then he sold Viagra.
Well, yeah, a lot of it.
He was successful at it.
He was severely injured in a German attack in Italy in 1944. This is a man that can tell you about the war at that period of time, and he's no longer with us. Stonewall Jackson passed away, too. I didn't realize that. Wow. But he was first elected to the House of Representatives in 1960. That's how long he was in government, guys. Yeah.
Gosh darn it. Now, I just imagine in heaven, Bob Dole and Norm Macdonald are having a laugh.
I know.
Oh yeah, that was the greatest skit. That's the way politicians were when I was young. They would make fun of themselves. They would let people make fun of them, And now everybody's like, oh, they get so upset.
Yeah, and he
Chinese democracy, folks.
Yeah, he had a sense of humor, right, Wes? I mean, he and Norm Macdonald going back and forth like you were talking about, and even when he did the interview on NPR, they put the quote at the end of this article. Basically, those were a lot of kind words. They probably weren't true. he was a character in his own way, and. Again, align yourself with his politics or not. He had a lot of influence in this country, again, from serving as a soldier to, being a member of Congress and the Senate. So,
and being able to live a full life,
Yeah.
just nearly 100. That's a full life right there.
It's bad that I didn't know he was still alive. Okay. Man. Yeah. It's a shame. Like I said, sometimes,
I believe he was the first Republican I voted for.
Wow. I've always kind of picked the candidate, that most aligned with most of my stuff.
At the time I was in the military, and a Republican meant a raise. That's how young I was.
Yeah. Yeah. 6 is giving you some helpful advice there, Trots. So, about 80, just, take a seat. Oh, okay. Becky does still have football on. Okay. Just making sure.
Yes, she does. She's probably watching this and football at the same time.
All right. Well, on that note, let's fire this up, because I have been wanting to talk about this story. For a couple days now. I think we all know the story I'm talking about. It is, of course, from the Babylon Bee. Unemployment rate among Cuomo brothers rises to 100%. Yes, it does. On December 4th, this was published by the Babylon Bee, saying the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics is reporting a dramatic rise in the unemployment rate among brothers in the Cuomo family, saying it has increased to a record 100%. This is unprecedented among Cuomo's, said BLS Commissioner Bob Labor. Contributing factors may include a struggling economy, as well as the fact that they're both corrupt, skeezy pervs. Experts expect the Cuomo unemployment rate to tick down later next year when they release their best-selling tell-all books about being corrupt, skeezy pervs and then run for public office.
Again.
So there you go. But that joke gives us a place to bounce off of. Because last night, or I should say night before last, Chris Cuomo was fired.
Yes,
They brought us that news at 5:23 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which meant they didn't want anybody to care about it. They wanted it to die in the news cycle, and that's what we call taking out the trash. That's the term in the media for getting rid of
no longer spending.
Well, doesn't it only work if people are actually still watching CNN, though?
Maybe that's true.
Yeah.
So he got let go, not just suspended. Now,
no, he
was on.
And then,
he was suspended indefinitely.
Yeah,
just a couple days ago.
Yeah, and then they gave him the middle finger, last night. But it's just, and you saw it coming. And what's really funny is I clip saved an article from Variety, or one of the trades, I think it was Variety, saying don't count him out. And I'm thinking, you guys are not reading the tea leaves at all, are you? So
what's funny about this is that the network that rehired Jeffrey Toobin after his fatal mistake has fired Cuomo. How bad does that make Cuomo? Just think about that for a moment.
Kabuto Studios here says, did you see CNN released a statement that they said they found additional info? I did. we'll get into some of that. I'm not sure if we're going to go down that road, but yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot more in the coming days. I'm not. Believe me, it is. Oh wow, this is fantastic. CNN criminals network news. There you go. Actually, look, this right now, CNN is a corporate content creator. That's all I'm going to talk. Every single one of these news personalities, every single one of these talking heads, is going to be a corporate content creator from now on, because they ceased being journalists a long
and
time.
That includes Fox.
It does,
because they do what we do. They do commentary. That's all they do.
Yeah. Wow, Ghostbusters only had a 57% drop, and Cano had 71%. You were 100% right, Tom. And that's actually a story on the board today, was that they had another soft. This is that normally you have a soft box office weekend after the holiday weekend. That's what we just had. The second weekend, right? And Encanto had quite a fall off. Internationally, I think Ghostbusters is over 145 million. So it's on its way not only to being profitable, but to being quite successful and worthy of a sequel, I believe. Yeah. And Tom, you have the link. If you want to come in here. Chris Cuomo was fired by CNN. So let's get into the story real quickly after our chuckle. And then we're going to try and look at this with some levity. They fired him. CNN fired Chris Cuomo, its most watched anchor. I found this statement amusing, considering CNN was one of the bottom of the barrels, networks. They were, competing for that and kept, they would go up and down and up and down. But his most watched anchor is not saying a lot, especially that time slot, which they would lose regularly. Right. Saturday, in the wake of revelations that he'd helped his brother. Well, those revelations came a lot sooner than Saturday, but that's fine. Anyway, the Warner Media backed content creation outlet, which suspended Chris Cuomo earlier in the week, said they would continue the investigation into the work they did for his sibling. They also hired an outside firm to conduct its review, citing additional information has come to light. There you go, Kabuto. CNN intends to continue to investigate its former employees' behavior despite its decision. Of course they are. They could be having some liability, right? Okay, so here we go. Other allegations against Chris Cuomo have surfaced. Deborah S. Katz, an employment attorney representing a former colleague of Chris Cuomo's from another network, informed CNN on Wednesday of an allegation of serious sexual misconduct against him. It was not clear that CNN terminated Cuomo because of the new accusation, but it clearly didn't help his cause. Based on the report we received regarding Chris's conduct with his brother's defense, we had cause to terminate. When
such a
new allegations
of the left, such a champion of the Me Too movement, right?
Yeah. When the new allegations came to us this week, we took them seriously and saw no reason in delaying taking immediate action. All right. So if you can find levity here, the floor is yours. I don't, like I said, it's funny in as much as Babylon B weighed in the way that they did.
Right.
But I mean, it's funny because CNN is one of the worst at creating fake news. Is there any other way that this is amusing? Anyone?
I guess it's like, I guess you could say it's like, I guess you could find this amusing. I feel like it comes into it's the age old, proverb that those who virtue signal the loudest have the biggest skeletons in their closet.
They do.
Yep.
And I think that applies here.
Yeah.
It is just another flag, another confirmation that none of these people believe a word they say. None of them.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's true. And I mean, it's quite possible that one of them or both of them will go work for another network.
Oh yeah.
It seems Philip A. Demick has an idea for what they could do. Meet the Fookers. Maybe, I don't know. Salty Texas Sea throws a super sticker at us. It's a 99-cent piece of pie. Thanks for the piece of pie. Let's see. We've got.
Yeah, I think the very public rotting of our establishment is quite interesting to watch and entertaining in a way. And thank you for the red pills too. We really appreciate that. Keep deteriorating.
But Wes, this is a good one. This has been happening for a while. This just happens to be public, right? I mean, and it's lots. I mean, it's like just an avalanche of public mess.
Right.
It is, and I hope it keeps happening because that's great for us.
It is.
I don't wish suffering on anybody, especially this time of year.
Same.
No.
But these people do need to be fired. These people need to stay out of the spotlight. We don't need people looking up to blatant liars and people who don't believe anything that they're trying to tell everybody else is virtuous.
I prefer to use the term comeuppance.
Yeah. And that's what it is. It's unfortunate, but they bring it on themselves.
Yeah, they do. They really, really do. And look, Zach is right here. He says, in other words, you've served your purpose. We're done with you. Well, he did. He was a mouthpiece for certain things. Rogue Disney, thanks for being here. I hope you enjoy your time with your family. Family is way more important than this kind of stuff, other than, obviously we appreciate you. So, but
we're more important
Thanks
than
for being here.
Yeah.
I can't see my dislike anymore. LOL. Hey everyone. Disease, you get a little extension. It'll work for a few more weeks that allows you to see the dislike. It's called Return YouTube Dislike. It's a Chrome extension. I think they have a Firefox equivalent, so if you want to see that,
There might be a Brave extension as well.
Return YouTube Dislike. I'm getting that now.
Yeah, it works, man. At least it will for a little while. AFK, what are your thoughts? I'm curious because you said something and then I think I talked over it.
No. I'm not. I rarely follow this kind of stuff just because I find it really infuriating and annoying in general. But I don't know. I'm definitely a proponent to the whole, like if you shout something loud enough, you're probably guilty of it a little bit. The whole "thou doth protest too much."
Thou doth protest too much.
And I'm also someone who thinks that if you're in a position like that, then there are clearly other people who are in the know that will just turn their eye and look the other way. So anybody who's acting self-right, like, I can't believe it, I call bull on anybody who's too close to that.
Right.
So that's where I'm sitting.
No, I understand. And actually, I agree with Court to some extent. In fact, I've said this already. I said this on the show, I think Friday, or maybe it was even last week, where I said, I can understand wanting to protect your family. I really can. In that particular position, it puts you at odds ethically. Right? It really does. I mean, depending upon how tight you are with your family, you're gonna want to do that. And as far as Chris Cuomo, prior to the last election cycle, and of course the thing that we've all been suffering with for 2 years now, I thought he was a pretty decent guy as far as a news presenter, right? So and I don't think you're messed up. I mean, everybody's going to want to protect their family, I think. Go ahead.
Can I speak to that?
Yeah, of course.
So here's the difference. I grew up let's face it, I'm from a bunch of rednecks, okay? I have 3 brothers.
Yeah.
But I would protect my brother if there was a false accusation. We would be the first ones to take him down if that was true.
Right.
Because you have a responsibility to not just protect your family, but protect other people from your family. And that, I believe, as growing up in a big family who is still very, very close, it would be our responsibility to make sure that the truth was told about that, so it would protect other people from something we knew was true.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I just, like I said, I mean, your natural instinct is always going to be to protect, especially if it's a child. But
I mean, I've stepped in front of stuff for my brother too, but the difference was if I knew that the accusations were true, I would be the first one to turn him in. but I knew they
agree.
weren't true. If it was proven to me that they were true, then I wouldn't. And whatever, I get that because I feel that too about protecting your brother. But they're both scumbags. That's the thing. I mean, just from the information we have, objectively, they're scumbags.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And 6 is like, Courtney, no one's going to attack you for that. Absolutely not. Nobody would. I mean, that's just that. First of all, it's not how anybody here on this panel is wired, right? I mean, I will have a fiery reaction to something, but I'm not. That's just not how. That's not my jam, man. That's not the way I work. But look, I mean, I like I said, the humor in this is the irony of it all, right? It is. It's not funny that people lost their employment, like Storyman was talking about. But again, I can understand why. Anybody else have thoughts on this before we slide along?
I feel a little.
Oh, go ahead, Wes.
Oh, go ahead, Shellback.
Oh,
okay. I was just going to say, look at how he got it. I mean, it's his connections are the whole reason why he was hired in the first place. So no, I don't feel sorry because it wasn't based on merit. These people and their connections are the reason we're in the fix we're in right now, and the more of them that are purged, the better I feel. So no, I don't feel sorry for him, and no, I'm not going to be nice to these people anymore.
Yeah, and look, I'm right there with you. And TZ Canadian, yes, this was stupid. This was epically stupid. Any person of a position of health would have said, you know what, we're not going to put people who are sick with our most vulnerable people.
Yeah.
Or keep them almost malicious. Our most vulnerable people. It was malicious. It was malicious.
Yeah, it's I'm in kind of two. I'm kind of in kind of both sides with like, yes, I'm not. It's not a joking manner. Somebody lost their job. That sucks. Period. However, due to the connections, due to everything that's been happening, I can't feel sorry for them. I can't, and just real. It sucks they lost their job, but I can't feel sorry for them.
I feel sorry for Chris Cuomo's kids and his wife. That's who I feel sorry for.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, and especially in light of all the other things that he got caught doing, right? But go ahead. I'm sorry, Mark.
Just a lot of corruption. It's just a lot of corruption in my night, and I will not go into the personal debacle. But the thing with Andrew Cuomo, I'm just like, you know what, there's some blood on your hands. That's all I'm gonna say. Always.
And now Shellbach had a point to make. I want him to have a chance to make it.
Well, no, I think it's totally hilarious that they lost their jobs, because it's freaking karma. I mean, they've the same thing that they've tried to do to so many people has happened to them, and I think that is just a knee slapper.
Yeah, it is. I see your point. I really do. Yeah, and I agree with Soul Assassin. I think Stelter's probably overjoyed. He's going to get a payday. They don't have a lot of talent left at CNN. I don't know if you guys have noticed that.
A lot? Do they have any talent left?
Not really. I think all they got now is Don Lemon, and he's not really talent.
Hey, Dragon Master. Yeah.
And from what I hear, he may not be there long either because of the accusations against him.
Yeah, and you know what? Court makes up another good point. There's corruption everywhere. The world is doomed as much as I keep trying to have a positive mental attitude. Well, hey, we can continue to fight it. I mean, the war is not over until you give up, to be honest with you.
And these things come in cycles, right?
Always.
One rises, and then one things will balance out eventually. We just have to be patient you demand and persevere. We have to.
And demand accountability, absolutely. Yes. And of course, Sherry is. Go ahead, Wes. I heard that.
I wasn't talking, but I guess I guess I could weigh in because I did have something to say on. Yeah. I don't know, this whole harassing of women. Just aggressively, basically in leg hump mode. I mean, Jesus Christ, man. I mean, you have millions of dollars. How weak is your game that you have to go fucking harassing women? I mean, really?
Yeah,
Millions of dollars. How weak is your game? What a loser.
Yeah, your pimp game ain't strong.
They make us seem like all men are a place to put our thing. I mean, that's what they make us look like.
It doesn't reflect well, that's for sure. And I loved Anthony Bourdain. That it was the talent that they could not afford to lose, and losing him the way that it happened, it seems suspect now because
I didn't agree with Bourdain's politics, but he was a good person.
He was.
You know, he was passionate about what he was passionate about, and that's a thing that you should admire in anybody.
Absolutely. And yeah, we don't want to go into the whole that was that situation with his girlfriend at the time, but we all know that's history now. But all I'll say about this is I wouldn't be surprised if MSNBC picks him up and he's doing like a dual show with like Rachel Maddow on the evening slot. I
love that guy.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say. I won't be surprised.
Rachel Maddow, you love that guy?
Yeah.
Red Gate says, "What's up?" And our good friend, the Gilk Man, with an incredibly generous super chat for $19.99. Governor Cuomo was a horrible governor. Yes, he was. I did agree with Chris Cuomo on a few things. Many people did, and again, early on, there was a lot of reasonable statements made by him until the last election cycle. I think it's good that CNN did this, but it's horrible for his family. Yes. And I don't think his family deserved it at all. 100%, Thomas.
Totally.
Much love to all. Much love to you, brother. Much love to you.
Love you, Thomas.
Yeah, hey,
well,
Thomas.
fortunately, I'm sure that the Cuomo's have enough savings, and you know, I'm sure they've got deep pockets they can use until he finds work.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna try to find, as I play shuffle again with everybody here. But there we go. Wait, there we go. It's better. I feel better. My OCD is good. All right, so we're gonna jump into the next story then, because that I feel like we put a bow on. Hey guys, y'all like Santa Claus?
Who doesn't? Jolly old Saint Nick, yes.
I like Sandy Claus. Let me tell you, going way back when, there are lots and lots of variations of Santa Claus. There always have been. I think it's fantastic that Santa is essentially inspired even more giving in people beyond what they normally would. Of course, the holiday itself has been turned into, a capitalist bonanza, which again, I don't necessarily have a problem with. But then there's this, right? Then there's this. Seth Rogen put out a show called Santa Inc. It's a 10-episode show, I think, 10 or 12 episodes of terribleness. And he says Seth Rogen believes his HBO Max show, Santa Inc., is being review bombed by white burrito supremes.
Oh, dear Lord.
It's like that has any meaning anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're calling me a big dumbhead. You've used it so much and so inappropriately that it has no meaning to me anymore.
Well, I disagree, Storyman. I disagree in the fact that that's usually the no word, and usually if you call someone that's usually grounds for defamation.
The Supreme Court has ruled that they cannot say that is defamation because it is subjective.
It's subjective, but you know what? I do. Well, okay. That being said, I do agree. Agree. It's just
here's the thing. Here's the thing. I know I'm not. The people I care about and respect their opinion know I'm not. So I don't care what they call me.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Thomas had something to add. Sorry to cut you off, Makini, but he added another. Thomas, did you hit the lottery, bro?
I think he's got paid this week.
Merry Christmas.
Super chat. Holy cow. Thomas says, for another $19.99, says, with that being said, there are some people in this community who think differently completely, aka me, who disagree completely. A lot of stuff people in this community say. Absolutely. And that is also the cool thing, right? Because I still am watching content from somebody that I am not 100% on board with. Exactly. And I find myself at odds with people on some of the panels that I'm on, and that's perfectly acceptable, Thomas. And again, this is like I said, I mean, I had a great pleasure hanging out with you and many other people in Vegas. I'm looking forward to doing that again here shortly in San Diego. There's some, we're going to do a couple things there. I know there's something that's going to happen in San Antonio. We got a thing coming up here, next year in Orlando. There's probably going to be another thing in Phoenix area. So we are going to find ways to get together. And guess what? We don't all agree, and we don't have to agree. Thomas has been an ambassador for our group of humans, for our fellowship for a long, long time. And I've always said as much. And I like to say that he was the heart, and he hates it. He hates that. He's probably going to know.
And even though Thomas doesn't agree, he also listens. He also understands, just like the rest of us. We listen to varying opinions. That's the point, is that there's a discourse, and we can still walk away and have a beer having disagreed.
It's more of a matter of just like basic understanding, and just being civil with each other and being a voice of reason.
People come from different places. They have different perspectives. And that's where the thing where my truth comes into play. I may have a different opinion about something because I came from a different place and I'm looking at it from a different perspective. Whereas we may be aligned on a different version.
There is objective truth, man.
I'm not a fan of that. My truth.
Yeah, me either. But one last thing. Good gracious, Thomas, for another $4.99.
Okay, he got a Christmas bonus. He got a Christmas bonus.
Yeah, he says, and are still good people who disagree, respectively. There are. I'm one of them. You guys, like I said, we always do that. So,
quite honestly, I love having vigorous debates where there's mutual respect. I love that, and that's a hallmark of our nation. And no one should be afraid of that. We should embrace it.
And you should never be afraid to change your opinion if you come across new information or a new argument. That's what it's about.
Well, not just that, not afraid to change your opinion, but not afraid to admit that, hey, you were wrong. There's nothing wrong about admitting that you were wrong on something, and nobody, and that's not gonna. And most people on this rock that we live on don't live on Twitter.
That's right.
They understand you. Hey, if you admit you're wrong, nothing's gonna happen in real life.
Right. And by the way, Thomas, we will be up there to visit you by the end of next year for sure. So probably more like spring, because I have no interest in your snow. None. Anyway, let's get back to this craziness that I don't know. Anyway, I'll just read a little bit from this. Everybody already knows what's going on here, right? HBO Max's R-rated Santa Inc. That's not going to stop kids from watching it, people. A stop-motion animated series about an elf voiced by Sarah Silverman who wants to become the first female Santa has a 3% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it's been hovering between 1 and 3%. Somewhere in there. That's not good. Over on IMDb, it's even worse at a 1.1 out of 10. That's a 1.1.
And apparently, Rotten Tomatoes has taken away the review count, so you can't see how many people have reviewed it.
Oh, that's man. Interesting. Seth Rogen is the latter. So here's the problem, right? The minute you start to silence people, you've lost the argument, because the majority of people have spoken, and you're afraid now of their opinion, of their words.
Well,
so
that's the funny thing. It's like he's going up both of us, like, oh, we pissed off 10,000 Burrito Supremes, but I'm like, YouTube. You not only had the dislikes removed, but you've actually had YouTube come in and turn the comments off.
Maki,
I don't see it as a boast. Sorry,
Mock, are you a Burrito Supreme?
No.
Were you stoked about Santa Inc?
No.
Okay then.
Can I say something? I just have a question on purpose,
by the way.
Yeah, okay.
So this not only insults Christmas, right? Not only does it insults some of the favorite things I had in childhood was the stop animation, Rudolph and all that.
Yeah.
But if I, as a Christian, went and made a parody stop motion animation making fun of Hanukkah, what would happen to me?
Or Kwanzaa. Well, okay, maybe not Kwanzaa or Ramadan.
Crucifixion.
I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
what would happen to me? They would call me a cultural appropriator. They would call me all kinds of names.
Mhm.
Well,
I
I mean,
mean-
let's remake 8 Crazy Nights, right?
Yeah.
And without having a background in Judaism, that doesn't
Yeah.
make a lot of sense.
Except somehow 8 Crazy Nights is funnier than this.
Well, of course,
8
but
Crazy Nights isn't funny.
do this. Let's do this, okay? There are only a few professional reviews of Santa Inc. out there, but the ones that do exist are not exactly positive. In elevating the subject, itself above the subject matter, Santa Inc. ends up feeling dour and heavy. A televised lump of coal, reads the Variety review.
I like that a lot.
I guess Variety is now
Lump of coal.
Burrito Supreme, right?
And of course, Hollywood and woke go together like peanut butter and jelly right now, at least on these reviews. This Uprock story is kind of funny because obviously
Doesn't he
they
look a
want.
little crazed.
He does. They want to side with Seth, and that's perfectly fine. But I agree with Variety. I think this was a lump of coal. Anybody else have any thoughts on this? Because
It's a
I
lump of
actually
something.
saw the trailer for that.
oh, you did.
Yeah, one of the very few things I've seen, and I think it was actually pushed as an ad between things that I was watching on YouTube. And pretty much, I would say the jokes. I don't know if people liked it, but it reminded me a lot of like that food movie that they had done with like
Sausage
hot
Party.
dogs. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, like every single joke read as in they wanted you to laugh at it, but it just didn't sound funny at
It
all.
was bad bathroom humor.
And, yeah,
Very
and they're
bad bathroom
doing
humor.
the self-awareness in the wrong direction, I think, where it's like they're bringing up all of this stuff, all these hot topics, and they're making jokes about it, but it's like the jokes are on the wrong side of it. I don't know, it just feels extremely awkward because they're like serious about the things that they're joking about, and it's not funny when you're serious about that stuff.
Okay.
Right.
So here's my thing. And this is not that the film is jokes aren't funny, because it's not. It looks like trash. But it's the same issue that I've had with the DC book I Am Not Starfire. This just comes off as hateful and mean-spirited.
Ooh, good comparison.
Very, very mean-spirited and hateful.
Right.
And that's my big for me, that's a bigger problem that we need to focus on.
As a storyteller, just to make this a little lighter, to make it what they could have done, and it made it funny and catchy and a good story, is say maybe one of the elves was Jewish or wanted to be Jewish or something, and had that story in the background with Santa and everything. That would have been some kind of exploration about how to get along and how the holidays are about everyone, whether, about coming together. They could have done something like that, and it would have been great. Instead, they got to do this, and it's just like you said, like it's insulting on purpose.
Well, that's the thing, story man. It's like it's some of the letter reviewers are saying this like this is coming from somebody like two Jewish people who don't know Christmas, making a film about Christmas. No, I disagree with you strongly on that. This is coming from two people who hate Christmas, hate the idea of Christmas, hate everything about Christmas, making fun of Christmas. That's why I say it comes off as hateful and mean-spirited most of the time.
Definitely.
Well, it's not even about that. It's white, it's white patriarchy bad. That's
yeah.
Like I said earlier, I watched the trailer, okay, and that's all I could do was watch the trailer. I couldn't like it, dislike it, comment, share it, nothing. Okay, and I don't know if that's just on my phone or if that was like legit how it is, because I haven't tried to watch it on my laptop or anything. Not that I want to, but that whole trailer was nothing but white man bad, patriarchy bad.
Yeah.
Well, Shellback, it was that whole kids believe in Santa Claus more than they do the vaccine or that event in the 40s.
Yeah, that too,
we're going
yeah.
there. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's, by the way, this is hysterical. Riff brings us a solid one from Australia today for Australian 5. Says, Hail Culture Casino, Seth Rogen versus Disney Galactic Cruiser, neck and neck in the cringe race. Hashtag sarcasm matters. It absolutely does. And dude, you were so right on point there.
Yes, they did.
Ah, man.
They shut that down. So they took it down right as F&T was doing
Just
the video
destroying
reaction to it.
Yeah.
If you can't find it, but you gotta watch the clip on F&T. Both Jeremy and Gary Nerdrotic have made clips of that, but watch the reaction. It's so hilarious, and it just looks hilariously bad.
Oh, hey, by the way,
it's everything's a joke now. I mean, hey, Tom
is here.
Tom.
What's up, Tom?
I've only been sitting in the back for like 20 minutes.
Has it really been that long?
It's been a long time.
Really?
Yeah. That's all right. Storyman Jack has made most of the points I would make.
Okay, but okay. So you've seen this trailer dozens of times, probably, right? The Red Band trailer.
Not once.
No, just once.
Not once.
You didn't see it once?
Nah. Why should I? Fuck Seth Rogen and his fucking bullshit. Like, look. I said this way back with Sausage Fest or Party or whatever the fuck that thing was called. Yeah. Look, that only works in a trailer. Once the joke is over, it's done, right? You can only, like, the joke is, oh, it's a kid's animated movie until the guy says, fuck. Oh, that's funny. Ha, ha, ha. Joke over. No, they stretched it to 90 goddamn plus minutes, right? Because I think there's even an unrated version of that.
It could be like the interdimensional TV episodes of Rick and Morty, where you have a great concept for a commercial for something, but you can try to actualize it, and it's going to be the stupidest thing ever. Right.
Well, then, like, anyway, it's just like the whole thing with him, I forgot my train of thought now, so it don't matter.
No, but you're not wrong. The joke is played out after.
You guys were just saying here, like, he clearly doesn't even understand the jokes he's trying to deliver, right? Because there's this counter thing going on with, it's hard to be all inclusive if you're going to make fun of a specific group of people or religion or organization or group of individuals or culture. So that's the problem we run into when you try to do this stupid kind of shit, right? Like, unlike South Park, where everything is on the table, nothing is off limits. When you're going to sit there and say, I could make fun of these people, but I can't make fun of these people, and these people I can't even mention because otherwise I'll get canceled by them. I mean, just go look at my fucking Twitter for going out there and say Miles Morales ain't Spider-Man.
Wow. No, look, and you were getting attacked today, or maybe over the course of the last 12 hours, I would say, right, by somebody who didn't like your take on the Spider-Verse.
I dropped that trailer thing,
Yeah, that's insane, man. It's just insane. And I don't know. Do you think this?
It has gone full circle to where I went from being called a racist to a transphobe.
Well, and see, my point is, they don't even bother to see where we're coming from, right?
No.
I mean, you can like Miles Morales, Spider-Man, and say, well, it's just not the Spider-Man that I enjoy. I like it, it's okay, but it's not Peter Parker. It's not the story I grew up with. So, it's not Spider-Man to me. That's fine. I mean, I don't understand why that's wrong. How can that possibly be wrong? I like Toby better than I've liked any of the others so far.
But see, again, it's all the same thing, because the arguments are always the same. I mean, I know we all agree that that's it. And the problem is, if you're a wonder or a two-trick pony, we've seen those tricks. And Courtney's like, this only works. This Santa Inc. thing only works if you're an equal opportunity sarcastic jerk, which, guess what? I mean, that's not Seth or anybody else right now that's making fun of. I
actually like Storyman's idea about Seth being a Jewish elf. That's fucking hilarious.
That would be cool.
That would be hilarious. Like, why didn't anybody think of that idea?
Well, it's not hard, right?
It was a better idea.
Well, I don't. And I don't, look, Sean, I understand where you're coming from. I don't think that's a jealousy thing. I really don't. I don't think that it's an inadequacy thing. I mean, I can understand this take, but I just It's the established holiday in this country because it was predominantly Judeo-Christian here in the United States, and that's just the way it was. But believe it or not, I mean, I had friends growing up that celebrated Hanukkah, and I was invited to be a part of stuff. I actually, went to temple a few times. I subjected myself to the full religious experience. I went and subject is not the right term, but I went to experience all these other religions on purpose. Right? It's very, very important to understand where people are coming from. It's the equivalent of breaking bread spiritually, in that sense.
I think not that's just that, but Christmas and certain other holidays have become more than just the 2 times a year when people go to church, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, they've just kind of been adopted as even people who are atheists still celebrate fucking Christmas and Halloween and Easter, even though Halloween is not technically a religious Christian holiday. It's a pagan holiday or whatever the fuck. I don't know. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. Regardless, it's like, who gives a shit what holiday you fucking celebrate? Again, like the whole thing, like with what Storyman was saying, the bigger, better story here for Seth to tell, and nobody would have cared because nobody would have noticed, because it's just been another one of those. Would have been, it's a Jewish elf trying to deal with the fact that he's, Jewish in the North Pole and all the things that entails.
Yeah, no, you're right, and you're right. So is Darth Sepio saying, I think we're giving him way too much oxygen. We are. Believe me, I have done everything I can. I tied my hands behind my back last week and didn't make any videos at all. After making a flood of videos for most of November, I produced zero content last week other than live streams. Now that's going to hurt me in the logarithm, but at the same time, there was stuff going on I didn't want to talk about because it was being talked to death, and I'm tired of doing those things. But on this particular thing, we were looking for something light to make fun of. That's pretty light, and it's pretty easy to make fun of. Yeah. So, but you're not wrong in that commentary, my friend. You really aren't.
Well, I think the biggest point here is that I don't take anything he's saying seriously at all. He's trying to save his reputation. He's trying to save the money he made. This is all about his pocketbook, and that's what makes it so damn disingenuous.
So this is informative because Tina Bojan here says Sarah Silverman's character Candy is a Jewish elf. They take no advantage of that humor. Wow. Solely F-bombs and vulgarity. Yeah, from the very beginning. Did you guys see the Red Band trailer where the elf lifts up their shirt to show, bumps, whatever you want to call it?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
No.
I just saw that one.
No.
And I'm like,
but I'm not surprised.
It's embarrassing to be caught watching things like that to me, I see it and it gets stupider and stupider. I just turn it off. I can't do it.
Yeah.
And nothing gets, honestly, I've enjoyed Seth Rogen over the years.
Yeah.
This segment brought to you by Salty Tom Seasoning. Now with 300% more sodium and 200% more MSG.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
MSG is kind of not good for you, by the way. Who's Seth Rogen? Paulie's in the house. That's how
there you go, Paulie.
I'd be shocked if Rogen or Silverman were observant. Well, I don't know. I'm never gonna. I'm not gonna ask anybody any of those things. But thank you for dropping link 6 on my wrenches. You guys are great.
I've read the Torah. I've read the Quran. I've went and experienced those religions. I've even got an uncle and aunt that are Jewish, and we all of these major religions have tools and teachings that are universal. That's what makes them world religions, and there's no reason to be like making fun and hating on one over the other for no reason,
right?
Just to give you an excuse to be vulgar with it.
Well, and yeah, but that's again, I always consider, you can make those jokes, you can have a lot of fun with it, right? This particular kind of animation appeals to kids. Everybody's been saying it. This particular kind of stuff, is essentially just destructive, which is what Ruben Christopher Haynes says here. Modern Santa is an American icon, and the duty of the extreme side of the left equation. So I'm gonna add some words here because it's not, because let's be fair.
We need to be more specific. Yeah.
Is to educate that Santa is a racist, since it is America, because that's the falsehood that they keep trying to tell us, except that we're the biggest melting pot in the world, and any and all studies conducted through 2018 show we are the most tolerant, the most diverse, the most accepting. And you can't change that. Which means we are the least racist. We are the least all of these other words that they're trying to throw out there. Man, I want my hair to grow faster. Anyway, you guys, this is a lot of fun, but I want to move to something that I know Tom wants to talk about because Tom's here, and I like it when Tom's here. Let's go back to this way. Okay, I feel better. All right, let's do this. We're gonna have
on the Seth Rogen thing. I just think it'd be hilarious if somebody rediscovers 40-Year-Old Virgin and they try to cancel him for the, I know you're gay.
Yeah.
Wow, Trots, that's a strong take.
He's not totally wrong because he can't even do a good butthead. At least butthead isn't annoying when he laughs. Like I can sit here and listen to and laugh at that because it's funny, but like Seth Rogen, when he laughs, it's fucking annoying. It's like sounds like a car trying to start.
Bad time.
Super annoying. Yeah.
Look, I've been listening to Mike Judge go for fucking 30 years, and I still have no problem with it. It still makes me laugh when I hear it.
Yeah. Gap Stargate, yes, you missed that's where we started, was with the humor around the Cuomo's thing. So let's do this. We're going to cover this because it's something Tom and I can jam on. I think everybody else can too. And I know we're going to probably need to wrap up here so that Maka can do his show, which is coming up here. So let's do this. Boom. We've got box office. Encanto Ghostbusters led quiet post-holiday weekend. Again, this was brought up by Tom in the chat. I thought this was the perfect article to go over it. It dropped this morning. Walt Disney's Animation's original musical animated adventure, that's a lot of words, Encanto, led the post-Thanksgiving session at the box office, which isn't surprising. Encanto features original songs from this guy who is slowly becoming ignored by a lot of people. Grossed $12.7 million. That's not exactly burning down the house, kids. Especially when you're considering it's in almost 4,000 theaters in its second weekend for a domestic total of 58. It's made 58 million domestically in two weeks. Tom, how's that? How do you?
Not good.
Has anybody seen this?
Paulie did. He's in the chat.
I've never heard of it.
Paulie, is it good?
Right there is the big problem right there. Most people have not heard
I never heard of it until I went to see Ghostbusters and it was playing also.
They did targeted advertising is what I keep being told, right? They did targeted advertising. That's fine, but you're missing out on a larger audience, I think. Anyway, I'll keep reading because I don't want to stop there. So it did 58 here domestically and 58.1 overseas. So, and they're trying to point out this thing is the reason, which I'm not really sure that,
the
Omicron is going to be the reason for everything right now, culture.
The Necromonicon or whatever. Anyway, so the global cumulative is 116.1 mil. So it's done really well in its foreign markets, that's for sure, including Colombia, where it's earned 5.9 million. It's no small feat. No difficult feat when considering it's about a Colombian family. But anyway, 116 million, right? So Ghostbusters Afterlife followed it closely in second place at 10.2 million in 4,059 theaters. So real close in theater count. It jumped the century mark for a domestic cume. Domestically, it's already at 102.2 million. Do you think in the third week of Encanto, it will be at 100 million domestic? I don't think so.
It'll be lucky to break 70.
Yep, I think you're right. Internationally, it's earned another 13 million from 53 markets to bring its foreign cum to 42.9. So it's at 145.1 million global.
Well, I will say this: my family were waiting for me to see it before they went to see it.
Wow!
And they're going this weekend to see it this coming next weekend.
Ghostbusters.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it still has a couple of bigger countries to open up in yet too.
Yep, it's still not globally open.
Yeah, like I said, I saw Afterlife last weekend. Loved it. I will be doing a review on it this week as well on my channel.
Yeah, my kid wants to go see it, so I'm going to take him and I'll see it again.
I'm very happy. I'm very happy to see that it's doing well, and it definitely did shut the naysayers up and such. And and I do think with Encanto, I think it's just a case of just, I haven't seen it, so it's definitely a good movie. It's just bad marketing. It's just that the fact that people only heard of this film until like a week before its release, or like it's just bad marketing.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the movie Encanto, if it's good, bad, ugly, what it is.
Well, I liked the premise of the film. I liked the story that I'd heard. I liked the clips I'd seen. AFK, you were saying something.
I was just saying that, it's probably not a good sign of like them going to be making any more money of the fact that I still haven't seen any like trailers or anything for it, and it's already out, right?
Yeah,
so
it's been out for 2 weeks.
There's no way that they can get that much more people to go if they're not even advertising it to like the general populace.
Yeah, and I agree with Apex Comics. Makini Draws movie 1 billion worldwide.
Well, I mean, let's face it, that Miranda guy is a very talented man. He really is. So,
okay, you're right, man. I wish Polly. Polly, we got to get Polly back on a Sunday Culture Review, because he says Ghostbusters 7 of 10, Encanto 8 of 10.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check it out then. I might actually.
He's biased.
You think he is?
And racist. No, I'm kidding.
Tom.
I'm kidding.
Real quick, let's look at the comparison real quick. All right, let's just do this. Right now, this is what the numbers look like. Okay, what they're not telling you is the budget for Encanto, which I will tell you is almost double the budget for Ghostbusters Afterlife. It is a big chunk of change, and they are not telling you that on purpose.
I have a question.
Go ahead,
Tom. Do you know off the top of your head what this would look like with 2016 compared to Afterlife?
As far as like how they're doing in comparison, Ghostbusters 2016 fell off a cliff its second weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In fact. Afterlife is still outpacing it by far. It hasn't made. I don't think it's made as much yet, but it's close. It's getting close.
Yeah. So you're seeing this is the day it overtook it at 10 days in, and so they were at 106. This is at 102. Yeah, it's quite possible that 2016 could still stay ahead of it. I mean, it is slightly
not
still
by much though.
But it also costs the Ghostbusters 2016 cost $144 million to make. Still hasn't made a profit, by the way. And
honestly, looking at that number there, I don't think Afterlife's going to have a hard time beating 2016. They still got some markets. They got some markets yet to open.
Yeah, with international markets. But look at these numbers, guys. I mean, domestic opening weekend, this is 27.2. This is 44. Domestic box office to date, 57.9, 102, 191. Again, I mean,
can you bring up the number of theaters it opened up into though, in comparison?
Yeah, because don't we have a lot more close theaters?
Yeah. Ghostbusters 2016 opened in 3963, which was probably the max back then in 2016. Encanto opened at 3980, so even more than Ghostbusters 2016. This is the difference though. 4315 was the maximum theaters that it opened in. But look at the number of showings, right? So far, there's a 6,000.
Well, the difference is there was a bunch of other shit out at the same time as 2016 as well.
Yeah, that's also true. But
you didn't have restricted, screenings to where you can only have so many people.
Do you think the
still not doing that
lower population of actual moviegoers is contributing to that as well? That we would be seeing more better numbers for Afterlife if the thing hadn't hit us for the last 2 years.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's hard to say because we can't really,
Yeah, it's
but
hard
I
to
think
that.
Looking at these numbers, judging by what we're seeing here, and like even going off of things like we've seen with Venom and a few other movies that have played fairly close to normal in their openings and stuff like that, I think that there is still a large part of the population that is afraid to go.
Yeah.
And the other part is just they're just willing to wait. Because they know right now, chances are most of these things are going to be hitting streaming before you know it.
Soon. Yeah. Unlike Ghostbusters, which won't. Although, I mean, it will, but it's going to get its
They
full
haven't set a
theatrical
date yet because it's playing so well. Yeah.
It's playing so well.
I think I've heard the rumor is January, but that don't mean shit yet.
Because we don't. You don't have release of this film in some foreign markets until January, like the first week of January. Wow. It's a delay release, and I'm really excited for it, to be honest with you.
Well, the more these kind of things make money, that's why I'm so interested. The more these kind of things make money, eventually they're gonna have to go back to this because it's not sustainable to keep making garbage that they're making. It's just not.
I agree 1,000%. So, I know, Mock, your show's coming up at what time? How many minutes from now, bud?
It is 12:06, so in about 24 minutes.
All right, so I'm gonna let you do your dip out first because we're gonna wrap up our final thoughts. Do one more tour around one topic, which of course we're going to talk about the overproduced interview. We're going to wrap up with that one. So guys, stick around. Mock, tell everybody what you're doing, where you're going, what's going on, my man.
All right, yes. If you want to continue the fun, head over to Mockney Live, 12:30 p.m. Pacific, guys. We're going to have special guest, Master of the TDS and the Writing Raven. So it is going to be a Mockney therapy stream, because I'm probably going to need therapy after this one. Anyway, it's hang out. We're going to talk art. We're going to talk pop culture and everything between. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you guys looking for something to do on a Sunday afternoon, come hang out with us. Looking forward to seeing you guys there. Thank you once again, Culture. Love everybody on panel, especially Tom. You. And hope to see you guys there. Love y'all. Bye.
Sounds good.
See you,
Thanks, Mock. Mock is very talented. I will be going over there to watch him while I take care of some chores. So that'll be running in the background. I usually have him going when I'm done with the show here. But yeah, it is. He's very talented. I'm sorry. I agree with all of you guys. He is very, very gifted. Punk Trace says Fox, MSNBC, and CNN don't do real news. No, they are corporate content creators, right, Tom? All right.
Yes, I like that. I like that term you coined.
Corporate. I stole it, but yes, I'll take the credit. Too. Yeah, I'll take the credit, but I stole it. I wholesale still stuff. All the best do, right? But let's do one last thing, and this again. There is humor here, but it's a tragedy. But you could find humor here. I don't want to try to find humor here, but one of the worst things I think I'd seen ever when I saw the clips of it were this interview. And then when it came out in full, it was a real problem. He sat down to do an overproduced interview with music, swelling music, and all kinds of stuff. I think Ryan and many others went about showing exactly how overproduced this was, trying to sell it to you as like a movie of the week on the Hallmark Channel, as some great tragedy that actually happened to this guy and not the person who actually lost their life.
What I see is a man who is desperate, and I think he's hurt himself so badly emotionally by this that he's just flailing like a fish out of water. It's sad. I mean, I don't like him personally politically. I like his acting. I mean, he's a great actor. He was believable in this interview, but it's sad to see. It's very sad to see.
Yeah, and I promise you guys, I will not be playing I'm not going to play the interview. I'm not even. This is the story I want to go away. If you guys follow me at all, you know this.
Yeah.
I hate this story.
Well,
Right? I do. Yeah, I need to take care of my hair. That's true, but that's not what I need to do. Yeah, I promise you won't show that. Jeremy showed the music they used in the same from The Force Awakens. Does that surprise anyone? No. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Shell.
Oh, all this is him. You know, this is just him taking a shot at damage control.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're 100% right. And here's the thing. I mean, Baldwin's interview will be entered as evidence in the trial. He screwed up. If I were his attorneys, I'd have been like, you can't say half of what you just said, silly. And six, I feel terrible for this guy. And that takes a lot for me to say because I'm not a fan.
I know.
Not a fan.
I know. I mean, I'm a firearms person. And, you know, in my opinion, the way you handle a gun, he's totally responsible. But still, anytime a weapon of any kind, the worst thing you can do on earth is take a life. You take that out of this world. You take that, what could have been something great out of this world, the potential for just one human being is uncountable, and that's why murder is the most evil thing on earth. That's why taking a life is the hardest thing on earth.
Yeah,
but
and there are roles that he's been in that were iconic. He did a great job in as an actor and all these other things. Recently, obviously, he's had his issues. You know, in fact, most of these folks have been too heavily engaged in politics to, you know, genuinely care about the entertainment that they're providing. I believe that's my opinion. But the ADA basically says he ain't out of the woods. In fact, from the article, I'll read this very quickly, and then we will go back to just the discussion around it so that, you know, we're not working on this one too long. Alec Baldwin may believe it's highly unlikely he'll face criminal charges out of the fatal shooting of Rust cinematographer Helena Hutchins. But the Santa Fe district attorney hasn't ruled out the option. In a pretty direct response to the actor/producer's numerous and highly emotional assertions last night on ABC with George Stephanopoulos, First Judicial District Attorney Mary Carmack Altwies, I think I said that right, said Friday that Altwise. That's what it is. Altwise. Sorry, guys. That certain individuals may be criminally culpable for her actions and or inactions on the set of Rust. So there you are. Noting that she plans to exercise my prosecutorial discretion to the fullest, including filing charges that are supported by probable cause. Carmack Altwise also said today that her office is exploring various legal theories at the time. You think he's off the hook?
I don't know about being off the hook, but I will say, like, if I was his lawyer, I don't know why he's out here doing this shit. Keep your fucking mouth shut. Yeah. I did come across this bit here that, look, I don't know much about guns, right? Like, that's why we bring on VR and stuff like that when we talked about this stuff.
Right.
If you want to share this here real quick.
Of course.
I mean, this guy talks about loading a 5 and 6 shot into guns like the ones that, as far as I understand, are being used, that were used on the set.
Right, on the set.
And he claims he didn't touch the trigger, right? And he
Right.
claims that the gun just went off. And this was also supposedly the same gun that had misfires. Now, I don't know if this is something that can happen or not very often, but this guy here, this is from back in 2013. This
you
guy
wonder why the axe
this.
is out here, right? John got me that for my birthday. See? Okay. Now, fingers off the trigger. I'm going to hit the back of the hammer and see what happens, okay? There it went. Now, I didn't hit it that hard. So if I had dropped it and it hit on the hammer about any way, it would have gone off. So,
and the reason I brought that up is because I guess that has to do with the fact that it's fully loaded. And the armorist was saying in her statement how she couldn't get the 6th bullet in, so she cleaned it out and then it fit. And that's the one that she thinks was the live round. And that's the thing. All Alec had to do is just keep his mouth shut at this point, because the armorist, her lawyer, and her dad are doing a plenty of job of burying themselves.
Well,
Like, if
and
you've read any of those
and-
interviews and any of the reports coming out, like it's clearly looking like it's a lot of negligence on her part.
I agree with you, Tom, but also the cross draw creates an unnecessary complication in that situation, because of how you can strike that particular thing in that particular way. But he in his statement on this interview.
I didn't watch the interview. I just heard.
His statement in the interview is that he fanned back. He didn't fan the trigger. Okay, he pulled back the trigger to say like this when he was showing Helena that. Right.
Pull back the hammer, not the trigger. The hammer.
Yeah, excuse me. I'm sorry. Yes,
and that's kind of why I showed that videos, because because I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, you can't. These won't go off without the."
Yes, they will.
That's why
it was
an
1876 Colt. It was an 1876 Colt.
Yeah,
they were basic.
Yeah, there's not a lot to that firearm. That's true.
And I get it. There's a lot of people who don't like him, but I'm just trying to look at it from the most fair point of view.
Yeah.
You have to. You have to. But if you watch in the Old West, like if a gunfighter, like the shootist, if you want to eliminate people quickly, you fan the trigger.
And I personally don't like him either. Just so anybody knows, like the only movie I've ever seen him in that I give a shit about, I think, is Beetlejuice. I'm trying to think of anything else he's in.
Yeah,
that's how much I give a shit about Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, I don't like any of this. This story, if it can't go away fast enough, I don't want to talk about it anymore. I really don't. But
I don't think there's going to be.
It's in our face 24/7, and we're ignoring important things. We're ignoring the Glazane trial, and that's as much as I'll say about that.
Not to say that the loss of Hutchins was anything but tragic or not important.
Yeah.
The thing is that no matter how this is resolved, nobody's going to be happy with the resolution. That's just the way it is, and that's what happens when people die.
Yeah, and this is true. This is you're 100% right, Tina. I'm ashamed that I made the mistake myself. A lot of people have, because of the way the hammer. All it has to do is hit the primer, and it's it.
And I'm not coming up with excuses for Baldwin either. Like, I mean, but clearly, like everything I've read from the report and the interviews that the armorist and the father, or the armorist's father, have given, like it's sounding more and more like
it's a failure on so
massive
many
scale.
Yeah,
it's a cascade.
Well, the fact
failures.
that she wasn't even on the set, whether it's for COVID reasons or not, is bullshit. Because as far as I know, from everybody I've talked to inside the industry, they say that's a big ass no, because nobody else is supposed to handle the gun. She's not supposed to leave the thing alone like she did over lunch. There's all kinds of things she did wrong.
Hundreds of things
just leading up to this. So, like, again, I'm not trying to put all the blame on her, because it does go back to the people who hired her. And if Alec Baldwin is one of those people, then
well, if it's a matter of like how many people you're allowed on set, just cut off one PA, you know.
The AD did things wrong.
There's the assistant
he did
director
things
too.
wrong. The armorist did things wrong. Other members of that production team did things wrong that we don't even know about, because people were already walking off the set. I mean, it was a low budget thing.
All kinds of problems, and he even tried to downplay the safety concerns that they had. That's the thing, story man. This is, and you're 100% right there. He tried to downplay that in the clip.
Silent.
But the John Beck, he should have just shut up. The John Beck for $10 says, "You'll be in San Diego." Yeah, I'm coming down there. It'll be me and the boss will be down there. So
I'm not a lawyer, but that'd be my first fucking thing to tell him is shut the fuck up. Don't talk to nobody. Don't leave your fucking house. Don't do anything until we know what the fuck is going on, because it's just making him look bad.
It does, and it is. And again, Sean, you're 100% right. Negligence. All he had to do was spin the chamber if he wanted to see if it was.
He can't. That's the thing that a lot of people don't understand about this whole situation. And I've been told by multiple people now from the industry, the actors cannot open the gun. They are handed the gun by the armorist, and at that point, they cannot do anything with it. They can call a recheck. That's it. They cannot open that gun.
So
that is one of the biggest things that people don't understand.
Unless the script calls for it.
And that's usually a totally different gun they use for something like that too. That's the other thing, is there's several different types of guns they use. There's several different types of loads they use. And that's the thing that makes this so complicated, is this isn't like the Brandon Lee situation. This is an actual bullet that was on the set.
Yeah, that's the first failure. First point of failure is there was a live round on the set.
Yep.
Can I ask a question though?
Yeah, of course.
Because I completely understand, like, there are precautions and whatnots for how you do it. So, like, I'm just kind of curious because I know there are a lot of actors who are seemingly throwing him under the bus by saying that they themselves have checked it on set and stuff. So, like, do you call BS on that? I'm just like, I'm legit curious.
Production, I don't know. See, that's the other problem with this is an independent production. I don't know what protocols they have to follow. I'm going off of
different rules for different. Yeah.
Well, and
I'm going off of what I know.
In John Wick, right? He is constantly reloading the firearm live in shots and continuing to fire it. There, all of this stuff plays into the type of production you're doing, the weaponry you're handling, et cetera, the modifications made, all of that. But again, we know right now we're being.
Though, all actors are trained to at least treat all firearms as real weapons. That's the other
and they
problem.
should. You should have extensive firearm training. Absolutely. If that's going to be part of your job, you should know all about it. Just like you wouldn't go in and do a martial arts movie without training martial arts, right?
Yeah, but they don't want to learn about guns though, because guns are scary.
Yeah, I don't know about
that. Makes the biggest point that he was not handed the gun by the armorist; he was handed by the AD, and that's the thing that I've heard more times than not. That is the big no-no. Is the only thing the AD is supposed to do is call a live or a hot gun or whatever on the set or cold gun. That is their job. That is it.
Yeah, and I guarantee you, what John Wayne opened his gun. So
that was a totally different time too.
Different time.
Yeah, well, and nowadays I'm told that when they have to do action things like load and reload and stuff like that, they use guns without firing pins.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Is they have several different guns for different uses, depending on the production. But like even back in the day, the safety precautions weren't nearly what they were in the last 30 years, right? Like the Brandon Lee incident changed everything. And that's the thing I keep trying to remind people is we have not had an incident like this since then. So to me, it feels like it falls a lot on the responsibility of the armorist and the other people involved in the production who are supposed to be taking care of this precaution. And it's just lackadaisy bullshit that got, people were too wrapped up in their narcissistic bullshit. And they weren't paying enough attention.
There's a lot of people that need to be punished for negligence.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and you got the thing is the armorist's father is going out there and claiming that either somebody repacked the bullet, which is to me just insane. Weird. And then the other thing they're saying is that they had been shooting for another project. They had been shooting on a range with blanks. I don't know why you would be shooting with blanks on a range, but okay, whatever. And they had somebody bring in real bullets in case they ran out of blanks, and they're positing that maybe some of those real bullets got mixed in with the blanks.
Yeah,
it's like every story that he comes up with is just another strange excuse after another.
And it's different every time. So I mean, who's to know what it is? But I want to say this. With all of this being said, there are other things to pay attention to. TZ Canadian gives you a source to go to find out about this particular trial, which is incredibly important. The number of victims are countless. You got on
here,
fathomless. So do check. I mean, I don't know.
What's the fact checks? Is Tom Hanks there or not? Because everybody keeps saying now he wasn't on it.
I'm not saying a word about any of that. I will say this.
I heard he was trending the other day because of it. So,
well, yeah, but I know this. I've had a great time here. We tried to find some humor and some things that didn't have any attached to it. We tried to have some fun with each other, which I always have on the Sunday show. I'm so glad Tom could join us for the second half here, and all of you out there. Now, Machini's show starts in just a few minutes, about 6 minutes from now. So I want to do our farewells. We'll start with the man of the hour. This guy here. His name's Tom Connors. He does some YouTube stuff from time to time. Tom.
Well, I like to stir up shit on the internet, on Twitter.
It worked. You made a good friend today, I saw. What, author something or another?
Oh, that one dude? Yeah, I guess he's pretty popular amongst our crew. Like he's blocked a lot of people. Wow. So, and there's a lot of I'm just so proud to be part of this istophobe group of Yahtzees.
Well, congratulations. On that note, we have Shell back. What's up, Mr. Bach?
Yes, for all of your white supreme istophobe content, tune in to Midnight's Edge, Midnight's Edge After Dark, Culture Casino, Storyman Jack, and anyone in this lovely fellowship. Thank you.
Thank you, Shellbach. You're a nice young man. And our political wing, the man that I have a great deal of respect for, has amazing content, very diverse content, I may say. Wes Moody, the Wes Moody Webcast.
Well, thanks for having me, Culture, and it's great to be here with this amazing panel and the best chat on YouTube. I don't really want to plug anything. I just want to say that it is a time of year that's stressful for many people, and that a kind word can really go a long ways. And so I have this assignment for you. Go out and just one person, say something nice or pay a compliment to that person.
Yes.
If you're in line getting Starbucks or food, pay for the person behind you if you can. And just we need this kindness in the world. There's a lot of ugliness and there's a lot of evil. And the only way to combat evil is with good and love. That's it.
That's true. Wes is on fire today. I love it. Thank you, Wes. Really appreciate you. And of course, we have the man of stories, the man of words. What's up, Storyman Jack?
Well, first of all, I'm going to go over to Machini Live. I'm a big fan of Master of TDS and Riding Raven. They are great, good storytellers, and just great people all the way around. So go check them out. And if you're not subscribed to them, consider it. I'm going to start working on stories again. We've had a lot of Christmas parties and stuff lately, so I've taken a little bit of a break. That way I'm not stressing myself out. And but those stories are still out there, still going, and I'm going to pick up just the tip starting again tomorrow. So we'll get back on track, and we'll keep going.
That's fantastic.
And everybody have a blessed day, and be kind to one another.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. And finally, AFK Bard, who comes on here and says, I don't do anything anymore but support people. AFK?
Yeah, I don't really do much nowadays, but I do like to support people. So hey, it's fun, and I appreciate the fact that you're trying to find the levity in some of this stuff that's going on in this world. And I encourage anybody who stopped by for the first time to come back again next weekend, and also to check out Culture Stuff during the week, because he's a real cool, balanced dude. And likewise, everybody who hangs out with him in this stream, equally awesome people with very unique and different takes. So yeah, go check them all out. And at the end of the day, definitely go check out Machini, because that Roxanne, woof.
I know, isn't that amazing? So talented. Yeah. And I want to say a special message to somebody who deserves it right now. That's maybe not having the best day. The lovely Sherry says, "Have a great day, everyone." Sherry, let me say this: my heart and prayers are with you for what you're going through, and I have a genuine understanding of it. And someday I'll share that story as well. But our hearts and prayers and our thoughts are with you. So just so you know, on that
You're
note,
loved.
Yeah, you are loved. I want to say I had a great time, and I wouldn't be lying. I did. I had a great time. This is the way I like to do the show. We've got just a few more seconds until Machini show goes live. So I'm going to leave you with the credits, as I always do, ending the show the same way I always do. Be sure to take care of yourself. Take care of others. Wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. And until next time,